We are already into the second week of September, and I'm just getting my monthly planner put together. Where does the time go? I've been busy, added notes to my planner as I organized it, but only now got around to making the video, so I hope you watch and check out what I've been doing this month. Hi everyone, Patty here. For September, we have leaves to add to our planner pages. The weather is definitely changing here in the Pacific Northwest. A few leaves are starting to drop, more because of the triple digits we have had, and twice this week we've had thunder and lightning that lights up the sky at night. I'll start with the flip through with August, and we can see how things progress that month. I have some hibiscus drying on my table. I will use these to make some inks for dyeing paper for my next journal. August is my birthday month, and I got 3 new Distress Spritz sprays, Rustic Wilderness, Walnut Stain, and my favorite Hickory Smoke. These really have a nice sparkle to them. I can't wait to use all of my new colors. I also received a box of tickets, tags, and stamps. These tickets are double-sided. Not sure how to use them, so you could see the design on both sides of the ticket, but that will be fun to figure out. I will use some of these in my clusters for the page tab for our cover page. I didn't come up with a way to see both sides of the ticket, but that will be a work in progress. All the pieces are tan and coordinate well with any project I may be working on. I also got a beautiful rock my sister sent me from Canada that my niece painted. I can't believe she spent postage on sending a rock in the mail, but I love it, along with a pair of earrings. What a great month August was. I didn't get a chance to decorate the sack that I had put in this month, but the color of the sack matched perfectly with my pages, so I just wrote on the sack and left it like it was. I have figured out that if I don't have time to do something, I can't stress over it and beat myself up because I didn't decorate a sack or add pockets or be very creative. My life can get pretty crazy here lately, so I'm working on doing what I can do and getting on with life the best I can. I'm already added the pages for September, as I said, because this month is getting to be busier than August, so it didn't get on film adding the digitals to the planner. But the digitals are gorgeous with all of the leaves behind the planner pages. I really like the look of that. I already have the pockets cut out and folded to add to the planner pages. I just have to decide which pocket will go on which page. I don't want to add a pocket to the front page because I have an idea to add a tab for the monthly nomenclature at the top of the page. So I add the 4 pockets to the pages, looking to see where they may fit best. I try them out in different positions on the page. I decide to add this one sideways so it becomes a tuck spot for the page, and I only glued it down on 2 sides. I'm going to let the pockets dry while I work on the tab for the cover page. I watched a video from Crafty by Tony, and she showed painting her cardstock with black paint. She tried several different types of paint and inks for this idea. I'm using black gesso, as that is what I have. I was going to try using black spray paint because I was spray painting several canisters for the party my daughter puts on during the first week in September. I always get odd jobs, and this year it was painting everything from sticks, 55-gallon drums, and photo frames. I never got the cardstock out to the painting area to give it a try. But I did manage to paint 4 or 5 different colors of cardstock with the black gesso to try Tony's technique. Green, teal, brown, and tan were the colors I chose to paint with the black gesso. I let these dry and start adding the ephemera pieces to the pockets. The time got away with me, and I didn't do a lot of these pieces. I like to have pieces of paper in my pockets so I can make lists to take to town with me every day. So I don't really need anything fancy, but when I head to town I have my to-do list, for I don't forget something. I do want to make a page tab for the front page of September with some of the dyed painted cardstock. My Big Shot and cutting dies are out in the Connex box with everything stored, as we are tiny house living. I did not get cutting all of the page tabs on film. I did cut several from each color to have on hand for later projects. I have a die that has 4 pieces of different style page tabs that I purchased from Amazon, and I cut them out in all 4 different colors of painted cardstock. I have a scrap piece of paper that I cut the bottom to make look like a banner for a base for my page tab. I use a sanding block to rough up the edges and remove some of the black gesso from the painted page tab. This gives a really nice look to the page tab because now you can see the green around the edges. I chose the green background because my cover page has a green leaf, and when you get to the end of the month, I have just a branch with no leaves left on it. I think that will portray September quite nicely. While I was using my Big Shot out in the Connex box, I also used some different embossing folders and used the same colors of cardstock that I had painted to have some interesting texture and pieces to add to my clusters. I'm just ripping off a piece from this green cardstock to use on this cluster. Go over the textured embossed pieces with a little ink. I started using StazOn and Timber Brown, but changed to Vintage Photo as the StazOn was too dark. Worked on a composition that was pleasing down the side of this banner using some of my new tickets that I got for my birthday. While I put this together and changed my mind several times, I will tell you about the party that my daughter put on last weekend. This was her 25th year for putting on this get-together with family and friends. It was the biggest one she had put on with table settings for 120 people. The theme was Star Wars this year because my grandson graduated from high school and he got to pick the theme. The tables were set with different colors for the different galaxies, with mini figurines for our place settings and Legos and dioramas throughout the canopies. Some people dressed up. I went as a time traveler who was passing through the galaxy, or I should say, as steampunk as I could go. I've never watched Star Wars, but I do love my steampunk, so that was my choice of dressing up. My grandson 3D'd a helmet for himself and his father and went as clone troopers. We went all out for this get-together and had a great time. But now you can see why this video is so late in getting out. All of the plates, silverwares, glasses, and tablecloths have to be washed after this event and put away, which will take another week, so this month will go by fast. I love being busy and having projects to do, and sometimes we have to let other things slip to accomplish what we're trying to get done. Back to my page tab. I'm still fussing with the composition of my pieces, trying to get a little black down the side and not just on the top along with the green. One big splotch of green doesn't let your eye move around on the page tab, and you sort of get stuck in one place. Working in threes or odd numbers work great when putting together a piece, but one piece that is overpowering will make your eye stop and you just focus on it. Add the month to the top of the page tab and glue all of your pieces into place. It's handy to take a picture of your piece once you get it the way you like, so when you are moving pieces off and gluing, you remember where you had your pieces. Do not glue the tab closed, as we will add it to the cover page and have one half of the tab on the back side of the cover page. I inked around the white border of the page to give it a little more of a vintage vibe and glued the page tab to the front cover page. Yep, I really like how that looks for my cover page. I added September nomenclature to the back side of the page tab also, so you can find the month from either direction on my journal. Now we're ready to do something with these stark white envelopes. I measured the envelopes and cut the digitals to fit. Yes, I cut the wrong size even after measuring the envelope, so I had to recut the pieces. Took me a minute to figure out how I wanted to put these pieces together, and I remeasured to get it right this time. I will cut new slits in the envelope after I get them covered. It really can't be that hard to glue paper to an envelope, but sometimes things can be difficult to make work, and this month with so much going on, cutting, pasting, and creating is all I can do. My thoughts for this half of the envelope was to leave where you can't see inside and write some words and feelings that I don't want to share with everyone, but would like to add them to my journal, as this is my place to put my thoughts down and go back in a year or so and reread what I may have gone through or what I was trying to accomplish, but might not have really done what I was planning. Like finding that house and moving out of the tiny home. Really, no one needs to see those notes. I covered the flap with a different piece of digital to show the flap, but it won't be used as I glued it down and cut a new slit. I tried to round the edges, but the paper was too thin, and it just bound up in the corner rounder trimmer. So I went around with my scissors and recut the corners. Trim off any excess paper after gluing the pieces onto the envelope. It looks like an envelope, but it is a pocket. Ink the edges and cut the excess paper off. Cut a slit in the top. I added a quarter-hole punch at the top to pull in and out the page. I will add with my thoughts onto a piece of paper to keep it in this pocket. Ready for the other half of the envelope to cover it. I was determined to use that piece of paper that I had cut too small. As I will be piecing it together to leave a window in the envelope, I want the branches to look like they could be growing the way they should be growing and not upside down, so I arranged it and ripped it and got it to fit the envelope. After I ripped it, I could arrange it better in a direction that worked. My desk is a mess as I try to find the applicator to ink some edges and the glue to glue this piece down. I kept ripping and fitting the pieces together to cover the envelope. A few holes left on the envelope, so I found an old book page that I added in a couple different places to cover up the white envelope. I always have old book pages on my desk to add to projects. If some of it goes over the edge, that's okay, as I can cut and trim it after I get it all glued onto the envelope. Again, I use the idea of threes when gluing the book pages to the envelope, so there are 3 different areas with the book page. I think this is pleasing to the eye and keeps your eye moving around the piece. Trim off any excess paper and cut a slit in the side. Instead of looking at the inside of the envelope, I wanted to add a piece of ephemera with a leaf to the inside of the envelope, so you can see it through the window of the envelope. I fitted into the envelope and cut it down so I could see the leaf and added glue to the back side of the leaf ephemera and glued it into the inside of the envelope. Now if I don't put anything into the envelope, it still will look great. I had just a little piece at the top. Instead of cutting it off, I folded it over and glued it down to the top of the envelope. Why not add a cluster to the envelope? My desk is still covered with all of the scraps. I find a ticket and some more of the weave paper, or I guess it's called perforated paper, that I purchased from Amazon. It comes in a packet of 3 colors, white, tan, and brown. Added a stamp, and I've got a simple little cluster at the top of this envelope. I really like how this turned out. I want to dress up one of the pieces of leaf ephemera to make a large writing tag for this pocket. I cut the cream-colored cardstock a little larger in width than the leaf ephemera. Left the length of the cardstock, but it needs another layer. So I found a piece of tea-dyed ephemera to layer under the leaf. This piece of tea-dyed ephemera was left in the dye too long and most of the letters and words disappeared, but it will still work for a layer. I ripped it to fit the cream-colored cardstock. The ripped edge with the ruler was too straight and formal looking. So I hand-ripped the edges to give it a less formal appearance. I like this a whole lot better, and especially after I inked the edges. Now I need to rip the leaf out and give it a more distressed edge. And ink the edges. It pays to have a messy desk. I still have some of the woven paper that I can layer under the leaf along with a ticket or whatever else you may have laying on your desk. Ready to glue it all together. If I would have had more time, I would have done this to some of the other leaf ephemera pieces, but the day is getting away from me and more projects to finish. Being my desk is already a mess, I left pieces out and did get a couple more tags made to add to the pockets, because a couple of the ephemera pieces were too small for my to-do list. Every time I walked by my desk, I'd move a piece around or add another piece from the mess on my desk. That way they kept evolving into a piece I was happy with and glued them down to make a couple more tags for the pocket. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day and see you next month, which will be here before I can get this one edited and posted. Bye now.